Hey guys, welcome to another Jurassic World live video, and today we are finally going to go over the hybrid design contest results for the preseason. We're not in the the actual contest seasons yet, where I'll actually give out prizes. But starting from this week's contest, we will be giving out prizes to the winner, which would be a $5 iTunes or Google Play gift card from me to the winner if you come in number one. But this week doesn't count since we only had a really short notice for this one. I just wanted to kind of test it out and see how the whole system works and stuff. And we got some great results regardless. So anyways, for those of you who don't know, this is a hybrid designing contest that I set up on my Discord. So from Monday to Friday, we'll have it open for you to give your hybrid design ideas, your artwork and all that, so you can enter your own hybrid that you design yourself, and the winners will be top 5 in the voting, which will be voted upon by everyone on the Discord, all the Discord members. And the top 5 winners will be featured in a video, and the winner will also get an extra $5 iTunes/Google Play gift card from myself. So the requirements are, first of all, you have to enter the Discord to actually send the hybrids, to enter your hybrids. You have to, well, you don't have to have an artwork, but it really will help your chances if you do have artwork. Actually, from the results that came in this round, the top voted ones all have artwork going with them, so that is kind of crucial, and really well done artwork as well. So there's that going for it. And also you have to tell me what dinos they use to create them. You have to give me a moveset, stats. Don't make them too overpowered. Just follow Ludia's logic of making dinos and stuff. And yeah, rarity, all that, the dino description, and then you could just enter that every week. And on the weekends, we will have a 3-day period to vote on them, and then the next week I will present to you folks the winners, or the top 5 of each week. And yeah, that's gonna be fun. Anyways, enough with all that. Let's get into this week's top 5 hybrid design contest winners. So going into Discord here, let's start with number 5. Actually, 3, 4, and 5 are tied with the exact number of votes. So keep that in mind when you're looking through 3, 4, and 5. So they have the exact number of votes. 1 and 2 are slightly ahead of them, but 3, 4, and 5 are tied for votes. The order is just, I guess, I think it's alphabetical. I might be wrong on this, or it's totally random. So just keep that in mind. So anyways, coming in at number 5 is Spinotator by Scourge. So here's the artwork. It's actually, this one, Scourge actually didn't let me know what dinos it's made out of. And that's kind of weird, because I think Scourge entered 5 different hybrids, and all of them had materials except for this one. And I guess it's my fault, I forgot to remind him of this. But I mean, if I were to guess, it should be, just from moves, it seems like it's like a Spino Gen 2 plus either Diplotator, or actually that seems like the only plausible combination, unless Scourge skipped steps here. It could be just Spino Gen 1 plus Diplotator, but then, that would usually make an epic, but then you could skip steps to make a legendary. But the one that makes the most sense would be Spino Gen 2 plus Diplotator. So anyways, let's go over Spinotator's stats and movesets. So Spinotator, rarity, legendary, crit chance 5%. Makes total sense, since Spino Gen 2 and Diplotator, they both don't have a higher crit chance. Armor 0%, makes total sense as well. 3.4k health, 1.3k attack is actually a bit on the higher side, I'd have to say. 125 speed, that's around an average of their speed, kinda. A bit leaning toward the faster side. And then moveset, nullifying strike, lethal wound, ferocious strike, distracting rampage. So creature description, lives near a large body of water due to it being semi-aquatic. It hunts fish and other large prey like triceratops. Huh, that's interesting. So, looking at this dino, it's a really solid bleeder. Just because it has both lethal wound plus a distracting move, so you could survive a decent amount of turns after using lethal wound. And since the distracting move is a distracting rampage, that will obviously speed up your process of killing your opponent, not only with the wound, but also 1.3k base distracting rampage, which is a lot. So it's basically, this is really comparable. It's kind of like a hybrid between Spinospikeus and Spinosaurus. Spinospikeus obviously has that lethal wound, higher bleed damage, and slightly higher base damage. And then Spinosaurus has kind of a really similar set, except it just has a crappier bleed move with I think gashing wound, and also has distracting rampage as well. So they're kind of playing that type of dino, but also with the addition of nullifying strike that helps as well with some dinos that you do need nullifying. Although for the most part, like if your opponent, if they go for like an evasive stance, assuming they're not immune, you could just bleed them, right? You could just go ahead and bleed them. Ferocious strike, that's obviously huge. If you can't bleed your opponent, you still have another option of going ferocious strike, then with the distracting rampage, huge damage. So there's that. The damage might be a bit too much, just because 1.3k base with ferocious boosted distracting rampage. So this might be on the more overpowered side. But anyways, it does have under 126 speed, so that does hurt it a lot. So anyways, that's Spinotator by Scourge. Congrats to Scourge there. Let's move up. Number 4, well, tied for number 3 to 5 is Dimodeconics by Sarcasmosuchus. I think that's how you pronounce your name. So here is the artwork, also the stats here, but it's too blurry. We have a more clear. This is really well done artwork. This looks really dope. Basically, you got Dimodocus' head over there, and then Baryonyx. I like this artwork a lot. This is probably one of my favorite artworks for this week's entry. So let's check out the hybrid context. Dimodeconics, so it's Baryonyx, Berry Gen 1, plus Dimodaclys. Rarity unique, so they skipped a rarity here. So usually epic should be legendary, but they skipped a rarity here, which is totally fine. You know, you have Gripelith, which doesn't need a legendary, right? So looking at its stats, 3.7k health. It's a bit on the lower side. 1.2k attack and 126 speed. 0% armor, 20% crit. Moveset, Shielding Strike. Does Dimodaclys have Shielding Strike? I haven't used Dimodaclys in so long. Ferocious Impact, Lethal Wound, Instant Pinning Strike, Swap in Definite Strike. This seems like a really balanced hybrid looking at its stats. Let's just check out the creature description really fast before we move on. A skilled fisher, it rears its crest atop the water to scare off potential intruders in his territory. The bigger and more colorful the crest, the more chances males have to attract a partner. Okay, okay. So, looking at the moveset, Shielding Strike, obviously that's great for reducing damage. It doesn't have too much HP, which is a bit of a problem. Its speed is also kind of problematic. It wouldn't be so problematic if it didn't have that little HP, and also it has Shielding Strike to help with that, so that works. Ferocious Impact, obviously a huge move, but also balanced out by its not overly crazy base damage there. So the reason why I said this moveset isn't overly overpowered, because as strong as Ferocious Impact is, you check all the other moves, you don't have another high multiplier. The next highest damaging move is lethal wound, which does 1 time damage plus bleed, which is important, which is why it makes this hybrid strong, right? It's not a bad hybrid, it's a really, really strong hybrid. But that obviously it doesn't have an impact that let's say Sarcoryxes has with like or Sarcoryxes had, but got nerfed back then. But even though the Sarcoryxes right now is better, it's just Sarcoryxes is a weird dino. Let's move away from that. So also has instant pinning strike, which works great with lethal wound, obviously, and swap indefinite strike is just a nice swapping move. Although, other than a guaranteed kill, it's gonna be hard to swap that one in because with only 3.7 k HP, you probably don't want to take a free hit from that. So, anyways, that's Dimodoconyx. Great artwork by Sarcasmosuchus. Congrats. And then moving on to, also tied for number 3 to 5, is Skullraptor by Dragonstorm. I actually forgot to bring its moveset and stuff. Let me go find that real fast. Let's see, Skullraptor. 1 second. Wow, there's so many entries in here. Kind of crazy. Alright, Skullraptor. Did I miss it? Okay, no. Here we go. Skullraptor. Great design, by the way, down here. So it's Skullsaurus plus Pyroraptor, obviously legendary, created by Dragonstorm here. So, interesting. So it's a rarity, legendary, HP 2.9k, damage 1.2k, crit 10%, armor 25%, speed 126, with vulnerability strike, pounce, short defense, and impact. And then the creature description, swap in defense as well. Creature description, an odd hybrid, this raptor boasts unusually high amounts of armor for such a small creature, and even a clubbed tail. Skullraptor hunts in much larger packs than any other raptor, a trait that may have evolved from Skullsaurus's herd behavior. That's a really, really well thought out creature description, I would have to say. That's really great, and great artwork as well. So, looking at it performance-wise, 2.9k HP is not a lot. Gotta be real there. 2.9k HP is not a lot at all. But it does have 25% armor, so that helps with that a lot. Obviously, swap in defense, you can utilize that as well. Short defense with that 126 speed. In a lot of situations, you can get ahead of your opponent, put up that shield, so you don't get absolutely obliterated due to your low HP. Well, that's basically due to your low HP. So the armor plus short defense helps it survive a lot, and also pounce also helps it survive a lot. That's the classic blue set, pounce and short defense with some armor. That's why it makes blue one of the more harder to kill raptors in the non-hybrid raptors. Also has impact. That's an old school Pyroraptor move, and I think also is it Skull? I'm not sure if it's a Skullsaurus move. I'm pretty sure it's not. So you got impact as well, which is not a bad move. You know what? No, impact got better after the impact buff. It wasn't as bad as it was before, but you know, just a 1.5 multiplier with 1.2 base, 1.2k base, which isn't the best. But if you throw in a vulnerability strike, obviously that boosts the multiplier up a lot. So overall, a okay-ish in terms of battle-wise dino, but really great lore and great artwork here for a Skullraptor. Anyways, back to the hybrid results. We're at number 3, and now we're going to number 2 and number 1. These don't have any tied votes, so it's just number 2 and number 1 here. And number 2, coming in number 2, we have Gorgoceratops by JJ. That is the artwork for Gorgoceratops. It looks pretty dope. It looks like it gives me the Ultimasaurus vibes, right? It does give me some Ultimasaurus vibes. So let's check out its. It is a bit of a blurry screenshot. I'll try my best to read this. All right, I just had to confirm the Gorgoceratops' moves and stats with the author over there, and now I do have correctly what they are, just because you know it's a bit difficult to see. It's kind of blurry, this screenshot. So Gorgosaurus plus Stegoceratops, unique 3.6k HP, damage 1375, speed 106, armor 25%, critical 20%, and moveset security strike Ferocious Strike, Defense, Shattering Rampage, and Greater Stunning Impact. So overall, the HP could have been higher. I think both Gorgosaurus and Stegoceratops have decent HP. Could have pushed it a bit higher, not too much higher, but a bit higher. Damage 1,375. This probably could have been a bit higher as well. But then again, Gorgosaurus, as high as the Tyrannosaurus's damages are, Gorgosaurus does kind of get the shorter end of the stick, but then again, it has Ferocious, right? But I think it could at least be 1.5k, just to, you know, that's all the Tyrannosaurs, even all the Tyrannosaurus hybrids. You know, Todontorex, Thorodalsaur, Trichosaurus, right? They all at least have, I think, 1.6k, so there's that. Speed 106, this is where it suffers the most, just because Gorgosaurus is just incredibly slow, but I could also see an argument where you could push it up to 108 or 109, but then again, 25% armor, that's great for a crit, 20%, so they probably don't want to make it too overpowered because its moveset is pretty crazy. So Superior Strike, don't know where that came from. Both Stegoceratops and Gorgosaurus both don't have it, but obviously one of the best moves in the game, Superior Strike. Greater Stunning Impact with Ferocious Strike. Ferocious Strike boosted Greater Stunning Impact is absolutely busted. And here's the thing with Gorgoceratops, and the reason why it's not not bad per se, even though it only has one usable move on turn 1. That's not the basic move. It's because the basic move is Superior Strike. With 106 speed, you really don't have to worry too much because you have Superior Strike. So it's basically like, it's built like Todontorex. It's very similar to Todontorex. Instead of the Distract, it has the armor to help it a bit. Superior Strike, Rampage, that's a Superior Strike, Defense, Shattering Rampage, that's a devastating combo, although the base damage isn't as high, but if you do get a Ferocious Strike out, so if this thing gets set up with a Ferocious Strike, like, whatever your opponent sends in, they're pretty much screwed, unless it's like an Earldom, right? Or you could just Cloak Rampage, you don't have to worry too much about it, since, you know, it's so slow, but, and it's immune, so you can't get Superior Strike, but otherwise, you're pretty much screwed if it gets set up with a Ferocious Strike. Either Ferocious Strike into Greater Stunning Impact, Ferocious Strike into a Defense, Shattering Rampage. That crazy multipliers, damn, I don't even know if, I guess that's why the base damage is so low. If the base damage was any higher, you probably would want to bring the multipliers down a bit on this one, but overall, that's number 2, Gorgoceratops. Great design, and congrats JJ for getting number 2. And number 1, I don't want to show this because, I don't want to show number 1, because here, it's me, and it's kind of weird saying myself as number 1, but like, that's what happened in the votings, and here it is. Number 1, the Spinospikeus. Name could have been better. I have to admit this myself. Name could have been better, but that's my hybrid. It narrowly beat Gorgoceratops. So JJ did a great job here, as well as the other folks here as well, and even those who didn't make the list. A lot of great designs overall. But I did narrowly beat everyone, so I could sort of gloat on that, but not too much because it feels really weird. But yeah, here's my art for the Spinospikeus. For some reason on my laptop it looks really weird, but on my iPhone it just looks completely normal. I don't know why, but it's weird. It's basically, oops, let's flip that one over. It's basically Spino with armor and a spiked tail. So, anyways, let's get into the nitty gritty here. So Spinospikeus, Spino Gen 2 plus and Kentrosaurus, it's unique. And the stats are as follows: HP 4.5k, damage 800 only, speed 118, armor 25%, crit 5%, moveset Nullifying Strike for basic attack, lethal wound, instant invincibility, instant distract, medium counterattack for the passive. Creature description: this armored Spinosaurus lost the ability to swim due to its heavy plates on its body and tail. they're like really heavy. That's why, okay? You have to understand. Which forced it to evolve away from feasting on fish. Instead, its powerful jaw and arms are now trained to specialize in hunting down and feasting on Tyrannosauruses. Take that, Rex fans. Boom, boom, boom. Here comes the revenge of the JP3 Spino. Well, I wouldn't say too much of a revenge, since Spino did kill the Rex in JP3, but you know. Anyways, I'm kidding. I'm joking around, guys. Rex fans, don't. I love you guys as well. Don't get too salty over this. Its spiked tail can fend off minor attackers, and heavy armor plates are strong enough to withstand even the strongest spikes in the dinosaur world. So I basically built a perfect toxic staller. So the only function of this dino is to bleed and stall, which is like a dream come true for me. That's one of my favorite strats when playing Pokemon, is toxic stall. It's absolutely, it makes me feel good when I do it. So if you see HP 4.5k, that's a decent amount of HP, 25% armor, that's great, solid defensive stats. And the strat here is really simple. If the opponent has a good turn 1, a really high turn 1 damage move, then you go instant distract. If it doesn't, just start out with lethal wound, then instant distract, instant invincibility, boom, that's a dead dino. Their next dino comes in. Instant distract if you need to, if not, lethal wound, instant distract, instant invincibility, just stall them to death with the lethal wound damage. You bleed them, stall, they're dead. And it comes the next one. The biggest weakness to this is obviously immune dinos, and to an extent cleansers, because if they time the cleanse wrong, I could still probably kill them take them with me. It depends on how much damage they deal, right? Because this thing is kind of hard to kill. But immune dinos for sure. I basically can't do much to them. Like 2 of my 4 attacks don't even work against immune dinos. Well, lethal, it does 1 times damage, but you know, I'd rather use null strike instead, right? And my only kind of answer against immune dinos, which it's built to not have any answers, right? 800 base damage, that's absolute garbage. But like my kind of answer is like it has a medium counterattack, so it doesn't do absolutely abysmal against dinos that are immune, which you can't bleed. But the whole purpose of this dino is to bleed. If you're using this dino against an immune dino, you're using it wrong. If an immune dino comes out on the field, swap this thing out, it's not going to do anything. But if your opponent is not immune, then you're going to bleed and stall, and they're going to die. So I love these type of dinos, and that's why I love Sukaditer so much. You bleed, instant distract, whatever, or swap into Lanka, swap into Alankylos, whatever. It's great. It's one of my favorite type of dinos here. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this week's votings. Congrats to everyone who made the list, and also to all the folks who didn't make it. Everyone at least received votes. So like I think the lowest person even got 5 or 6 votes. So overall, great participation. Thank you all for participating. So hopefully next week we'll have some even greater hybrid creations. And again, if you do want to join in the contest, join the Discord link down in the description box below, and there will be rules and guidance to how you can enter the contest. And good luck to the next week's participants, because there's going to be something at stake next week, so that's going to be fun. And anyways, again, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did. Let me know what you guys think about the winners here in the contest. And subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.